Everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, we'll try and understand the business model of one of the world's most fastest growing sport on social media, and that is Formula One. Well, in the year 2022, F1 or the Formula One administration made a combined total revenue of $2.57 billion. Now, let's convert this into INR and see how this looks. So in today's scenario, 1 billion USD is 8,316 approximate crores. So $2.57 billion is 21,371 crores, and that is a mammoth amount for an organization to make revenue of. Well, Formula One is called the pinnacle of motorsport because when you compare with other types of motorsport, be it two-wheelers or four-wheelers, Formula One has always been at the top right from the year 1950. And just like you have cricket being administered by ICC, Formula One is being sanctioned by a French organization called FIA, or the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile. And the big wings, the funny part is that the big wings sitting inside the administration, they don't quite reveal the revenue figures accurately. All what they do is at the end of the year, they release a press statement stating that this much $1 billion in revenue has been made by Formula One. So therefore, in the absence of the correct figures, still we'll try and understand the business model of this entire game. And as you can see, there are major stakeholders involved: sponsors, tech partners, merchandise partners, and broadcast. And of course, you have the major chunk of revenue for the teams and the drivers, and that is in the form of prize money. So let's try and understand sponsorships. Well, each F1 team can bring in a maximum of 25 sponsors on board, and as you can see on this particular car, you have Red Bull, Oracle, which is the main sponsors, and you have other small sponsors, their brands and logos being displayed on the other visible parts of the car. Well, the fact here is that more popular the F1 team is, more is the number of sponsors they'll be able to get on board, and more will be the sponsorship revenue. And that is why you have top teams like Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull able to garner a lot of sponsorship attraction because of their increasing popularity. So in the year 2023, the total amount of sponsorships for the entire teams put together is $360.5 million US. And just to give you a picture, for one F1 team, in this case the Mercedes F1 team, you have sponsorships being split as follows. You have the constructor Mercedes-Benz pouring in $75 million. You have the Malaysian giant petroleum company Petronas pouring in $57 million. And then you have other small sponsors like Ineos, UBS, Epson. All these brands' logos are being displayed by the F1 teams on their two cars, on the jerseys, on other F1 merchandise. Well, then comes technology partners, and these are partners or companies who supply major essentials to the F1 team. If you happen to watch an F1 race, then the only tires they can use is that of Pirelli because they are the major tire suppliers for Formula One. DHL is a major logistics provider for Formula One, so they are involved in transporting the teams, the cars, in fact the entire garage from one location, from one country to another country. Merchandise, well, when you compare with other sports, Formula One makes a huge chunk of money from merchandise sales. In fact, they have an official shop, an online shop called F1 Shop, through which jerseys, caps and other stuff are being sold. Again here, better is the team, better would be the sales they'll be able to make from the merchandise. In fact, in 2006, if you look at the figure, 8 million euros was the total revenue made from merchandise sales. Fast forward into 2023, 17 years later, you can just imagine how much would be the revenue they'll be able to generate from the merchandise sales. Then comes broadcasters. Well, you have a lot of players involved in this spectrum, but recently Sky Sports in 2019 backed a deal of 1 billion euros to become the official broadcasters of F1. You also have the F1 sitcom Drive to Survive, which is about F1, right now streaming on Netflix, and because of this, a sport which was born in the UK has become widely popular in the US also. Then comes prize money, the attraction for all the teams. Well, if you look at this particular graph, you'll be able to understand that F1 stands at the top when it comes to distributing prize money. Around 2.2 billion US is being spent as prize money, which is divided into a particular ratio between the teams and the drivers. So you can say more or less that the entire revenue of the F1 administration is given off as prize money. Well, this prize money of $2.2 billion will be split in a particular ratio between the constructors and the drivers, depending upon the ranks, the amount of points they're able to garner in the completed Formula One season. Well, coming to Formula One teams, well, there is no official figure as to how much they are spending in a particular year, but they spend massive amounts on driver salaries. Each driver gets a base salary, they get a bonus for performing in every race if the performance is good. They also get endorsement and sponsorship deals as well because they are a part of these Formula One teams. But more importantly, Formula One teams spend a lot of money on research, development, production, and operations. And these three are vital to make the car much faster and gain a podium place. Now, what used to happen earlier is that compared to their prize money marked in red here, the top teams used to spend a lot of money when it comes to technology, making their cars, the engines more efficient, the cars more faster. And because of the disparity between the teams, the F1 administration stepped up and they brought something called a budget cap. And recently, a budget cap of 135 million US dollars was announced, which means they have to do a team has to do all their R&D, production, operations within this budget cap. Of course, driver salaries are out of the cap. It's near to impossible to include salaries in this budget cap. Well, in conclusion, I can say that Formula One is definitely a team sport. It is not just dependent on the driver. There are around 800 to 1,000 people working behind making a car much faster, much efficient, and get a podium place. And an F1 team who is able to capture, understand the latest trends in technology, is able to use them in enhancing the performance of the car, making the engine more efficient, making the car more faster, and therefore getting more money for the team from sponsorships as well as from the F1 administration. Well, I hope I was able to make things clear through this particular video. If you like the video, please do show support to us by hitting the like button. If you want more videos like these on a regular basis by way of notifications, you could also think of hitting on the subscribe button. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and thank you.